They say heavy is the head that wears the crown, so let's talk about it. Welcome to Under the Crown podcast. This is Chris.
It's your boy Carlton. What's up, y'all?
What's going on, man? We coming up on the conclusion of Black History Month. It's crazy. My son, he has an assembly tomorrow morning for Black History, and he coming home with all these fun facts. You know, tell me about Thurgood Marshall and Jesse Owens and all that. And it's like, you know what? That's great, but it's like, damn, we learned about them people when we were in school.
Like they keep regurgitating the same story.
Exactly.
More than that.
And it's like, man, don't get me wrong. Those people have made great contributions to our culture. If it wasn't for them, a lot of things we wouldn't have today. But I want to celebrate them, but I also want to celebrate people that are doing things now, or some of the things that, or some of the people that don't get recognized in those areas as well. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like we are told who you should celebrate,
right?
And it's like, okay, we could do enough research on our own to find out more of our own people, which I think we owe ourselves that.
And that's the key. We can't wait for schools or just a month to celebrate our history, because our history is so rich, and we really just, you can't go a day without something invented by a Black person or anything. Like we create the culture. We are the leaders of cool.
We are the tastemakers.
Absolutely. So, but you know, we're gonna honor the past because it's the foundation. But I just want to make sure, man, we talk about the present and the future.
Now, speaking about the past, I would like to touch on that. A lot of people don't know that we would not have no Illinois lottery or certain things of that nature without people like Mushmouth Johnson, who was a policy king, and also a great person by the name of Teddy Rowe. Now, these brothers, they control predominantly what we call South Loop going on into the Woodlawn area and even the Bronx area of Chicago. And you're talking about millionaires, you know, 100,000aires, people who really control and kept everything in the community. But, you know, some things did happen where it transpired where we lost that. But I do think it's important that we do pay homage to these people who helped start off a thing that we have, which is now Illinois Lottery, that we pull a lot of money into. But it was originally started from Black men of that nature, and some women too.
Absolutely, man. Just like you said, the key word is community. And, you know, of course, as a people, when we think about heroes and people that inspire us, we probably look into athletes or entertainers, but it's okay to have a God-given talent to make a mass of people to come out and want to watch you and immortalize you. But at the same time, it's like, what do you do with that talent?
Exactly.
You know, but I look at people like LeBron James, and yes, he's a phenomenal basketball player, but the things he's doing, not just in the landscape of business, but in his community, you know, where he come from, you know what I mean? Starting a school and just, you know, creating a culture in Akron that to let these kids know, like, hey, it's not where you're from, it's where you're gonna go, where you, you know, who you really are. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's dope to me. I honor brothers like that. So he's gonna be definitely one of those guys. I think when you look at 20 years from now, I remember back in third grade in February, the teacher put out these posters or whatever. You see Mae Jemison and Barbara Jordan and all these people, you know what I mean? It was like, wow, it was Jesse Jackson. It was great to see these great African Americans that contributed to society. But them posters, you know, we can't forget about them, but we also got to realize that we got some people that's doing some great things now.
And reference to schools as well, I didn't know until people started telling me that Jalen Rose also started the school before LeBron, but shout out to him as well. So I like what these people are doing. You know, they're showing, okay, yeah, I did play basketball, but let me use this, what I have obtained, and help my community and build up, you know, for the future and everything. Now, you're a historian, Chicago historian, and the Johnson publication was made here, correct?
Correct.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that company that was founded by Black men and a strong Black woman who happened to be one of your teachers? I mean, that's history to me. You told me the gang of things.
Yeah, Mrs. Naomi Johnson, her husband, Robert Johnson.
Okay.
He wasn't the founder. John Johnson was the founder. But Robert Johnson was the editor of Jet Magazine. And, you know, I was in that building as, you know, Miss Johnson was a teacher at my school, and she was one of those people that didn't want me to hang with the wrong crowd, so she would take me in and have me do little chores around our house or whatever. But before we would go to her house in Hyde Park, we would go downtown to pick up her husband from work to the Johnson Publishing building, man. And when I tell you that sitting in that lobby waiting on Mr. Johnson to come down, seeing these beautiful black people in these suits, these beautiful black women, because they also owned Fashion Fair Cosmetics.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So they were like one of the first families of beauty, you know what I mean? What beauty products.
Gotcha.
Actually. And man, it was just to know his story, and that at one point that was the only black owned building on the Chicago skyline, the Johnson Publishing Company.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. And I mean, I remember being in Miss Johnson's house, and she got sick, and people were sending her flowers, and she was like, James, throw the flowers away because they got old, and then keep the cards. And I would I'm reading the cards. Get well soon, Camille Cosby.
Oh wow.
And she just passed away last year, but I still have memorabilia of her husband was great friends with Barry White, Dick Gregory. I mean, you see over there, I got a Dick Gregory signed album.
Yeah.
All of them to Robert, but she wanted me to have those records, man. And just to hear stories about Mr. Johnson, John Johnson, how like even though this was a great black publication, and his whole objective was to inform and teach, but also to entertain and show us in a different light.
See, I'm pardon for cutting you off. I'm glad I brought this up because the way you spoke of this beautiful woman, how she impacted your life, and including her husband, that just shows that we are beautiful people, and we are excellent.
Yeah.
And I just want to touch on that because I see how it impacted your life, and she saw something in you, and I'm glad she did, and I'm learning from you.
Yeah, man. I mean, just to be around those people, like I saw John Johnson. You know what I mean? Like this man, and then it's crazy if you read his book, Succeeding Against the Odds. He wasn't even able to buy his building. He had to go with his lawyer, which was a white man, but he had to play like he was his assistant or whatever to buy this building, man. But Jet Magazine actually started on 35th and King Drive in the Supreme Life building, which was another black-owned insurance company.
Wow.
Well, the first black-owned insurance company. You know what I'm saying? So our area where we come from, Bronzeville, in Chicago, I mean, it's very historic. You know what I mean? And so that lets me know too that, man, we can do anything possible if we just set our minds to it.
And you all know we weren't going to let this month pass without speaking about, well, just period, we can talk about, but we weren't going to let this month pass without acknowledging who we are as a people. You know what I mean? And that's beautiful information that I did not know. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of Johnsons, my son brought up to me a fun fact that I didn't know. Back in the days in the 90s, we used to play with the bullshit water guns. Mm-hmm. Then we got introduced to the super soakers.
Yeah.
I don't know that Lonnie Johnson spearheaded that, and he found that he created that.
He just got a check. He just got a check. You know,
that's crazy.
But it's so many things that we use that we think a white man. No, a black man has something to do with that.
Yeah.
Black man or a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and speaking of black women, man, when we talk about the future, the black woman as a whole is going to play a very important part in shaping our culture.
I agree.
I mean, it's starting, especially in this city, man. When we look at the world of politics with Lori Lightfoot,
trailblazers,
Toni Preckwinkle. I mean, the most powerful women in the city. There's four of them, the black women.
Yeah,
Lightfoot, Preckwinkle, Kim Fox, and the treasurer.
I forgot her name, and she just spoke about having town hall meetings on each side of town to inform people this is your money, which was a beautiful thing. I was listening to the radio, and she was talking about coming to the community as opposed to, just coming downtown. And she also said that position was held by someone for like almost 20 years and never challenged. So she said, you know what, I'm going to change the narrative of this. Mm-hmm. And she said it was very important for her to do that. So I definitely agree with you on the women's spearhead, definitely making a big change.
Because, I mean, you think 50 years ago, 50, 60 years ago was the civil rights movement, but now we have the Black Lives Matter movement. That was started by women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you think about the Me Too movement, like all these
Women.
movements are spearheaded by women. And then you look at, yeah, we got Kamala Harris and all those politicians or whatever, and more power to them. Here's the thing: I feel like if politicians really got down for us the way we wanted them to, or the way they want to, really, actually, because they got to play the game,
Yeah.
they'd be dead.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But the people that make a difference aren't voted in office, man. I'm talking about like Tamika Mallory, Angela Rye, with the way she speaks eloquently and understands what's going on in the world of politics and how it affects us as people.
And the world in general.
Absolutely, man. I really admire those women. I really do. I really do, man.
Yeah, I mean, in all due respect, thanks to you, you'll put my coattail about certain things pertaining to, politics. And now dig inside, say, okay, and do my research. And you're right, the aforementioned women who you just named, powerful.
Yeah, but the name that I think you're gonna hear a lot this year, going into this election, Stacey Abrams.
What's the backstory on her?
She was a congresswoman from Georgia, from the state, and she actually ran for governor. Lost by a slim margin. It was a runoff.
Okay.
But she contested the actual what's the word I'm looking for? So she lost, but she wanted to challenge because there was a lot of voter suppression going on in Georgia. You know what I mean? Yeah, but she went on and conceded. But she's getting some things done where it's like, you know what? Okay, understanding voter suppression and trying to make a change on that, getting felons to vote. Andrew Gilliam. He was the former mayor of Tallahassee in Florida.
The one conceded too, right?
And so that goes to show you those are Republican states, red states, and these two black individuals actually got it to the point to even lose by a slim margin in those states is monumental.
Yes, it is.
So,
who's his other sister? I forgot if she's in the Senate or the House. The one with alopecia, she wears her hair bald.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but she's a freshman congresswoman. The ones the establishment is calling them the troublemakers. Her and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the young lady from Minnesota, those people. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's shaking it up, man.
Yeah.
Women are, and we got to look at just the electorate as a whole anyway, man. You can't have a Democratic Party without black women. No. That's like, what, 94, 96% of the vote? So it's like come on, church. Man.
Yeah, it is.
Come on, man. But even in this city, man, Kim Fox and what they're trying to put her through, man, we got to make sure that we stand tall for that sister, not just here in this city, but around the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, look, we just lost a 18-year-old young lady, man. 3 fools shut up a store in Chicago.
Avalon Park area.
And an 18-year-old young lady lost her life. She was actually a classmate of my niece.
Nursing student at Malcolm X College, right?
Right. But the thing is, it's like everybody wants her to prosecute Jussie Smollett. Her thing is, I ain't got time for bullshit like that.
That is bullshit.
It's real things going on in this city.
That needs to be addressed.
That needs to be addressed. And y'all mad because I threw this out. We ain't got time for that. We got bigger fish to fry.
It's called the okie doke. That's all it is. So
it is what it is. But we got to make sure that we support as men too, black men, just as in the community, support our sisters, man, because they really gonna be the ones that's gonna spearhead these movements and make a difference.
And one more, alderman in the 15th ward, Stephanie Coleman, and she's implementing change in the Inglewood area. So salute to her as well too.
Yeah, and I'm sure that, man, across the country, man, there's just women, mayors, governors, all the women, you know what I mean, council women or whatever, that's making a difference. You know what I'm saying? But we're talking about people that's right here at home that we know, we see them, we read about them, we hear about, in the news or whatever the case may be. So salute to them.
Yeah, so that's definitely a big thing.
And just in the realm of storytelling as well, man. I mean, one of the most powerful documentaries. It's so powerful that I still haven't seen it. I'm afraid to press the button, press play.
So El Hajj Malik?
No, not that one. About the Central Park 5. You know what I'm saying? So
Ava
DuVernay, man, is like the things that she's doing with storytelling and Lena Wraith. These are people that we're gonna read about 20, 30 years now, because our stories need to be told. but we can't count on anybody else to do that.
It's important that we control the narrative.
Absolutely.
To put everything out. That's what I definitely believe.
Absolutely. And we lost just recently some powerful women, man. Rest in peace to Katherine Johnson, man, the mathematician that inspired the movie Hidden Figures, you know, man, for NASA.
Yes. Who's played by Taraji P. Henson, right?
Absolutely. Man, y'all know as Walona Woods, but Jeanette Dubois. Walona was a bad chick, man.
She is the sassy, flashy, poised, sharp, slick talking auntie that we all can identify with.
That's in the hood. You know what I mean? Her crib clean and sharp. She got them beads hanging up. She got the wicker fans. You know what I'm saying? I know that woman. You know what I'm saying?
And she was always dressed to impress.
Absolutely, man. And then I heard Jimmy Walker. I saw a documentary on Good Times, and
what that Tootsie Roll do?
No, he was just saying, like, I mean, when you think about it, her lines was only for 5 minutes, but she had wigs for everything. But that's all right, man, because it's like, however long I got, I'm gonna make my presence known. For the simple fact that, man, 40 years later, we mourning her death.
And when he go, oh, okay, he was laughable. But that's one thing I do want to touch on that we talking about us. Mm-hmm. We have to stop nitpicking and trying to please champion ourselves. You know, that's all I'm saying. That's all my brother's saying here too.
Right.
You know,
and we lost B. Smith, restaurateur, model, businesswoman.
I didn't know that much about her, and I feel like, whoa, I was taken aback after reading about her. Mm-hmm. You know,
right, and that's the thing. They give us just enough. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But it's so much more. So many more people that, man, I mean, and then that's the thing. You don't even have to be famous to be, because I know some great principals that are men and women that are making a difference. Some great pastors and all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you're making a difference in the community, that's something that's going to have a lasting effect. That's Black history.
It is, and I thank God that my mom and everybody, pretty much the elders in the family, always told me what came before me, and showed me this is who we are, this is what we are, opposed to just letting the Chicago public school system teach me.
Right.
And also, you know, just it's bigger than what it started as Negro Week, going to February being the month.
Yeah.
You know, it's all year round. It's a lifestyle.
Carter G. Woodson, man.
Yes, sir.
What was it, 1925? He started that, man.
Yes.
And you know, it had to start somewhere.
But why we get the shortest month? You know, I don't
because the reason why is that it's not like the reason why he wanted it in this month, because it was the months of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass' birthday.
Okay.
So it was to honor them.
Okay. That's cool.
You know, that's cool. So, and we also lost Esther Scott, actress, from Birth of a Nation, and she is the one that smelled the sex in the air and
Boys in the Hood.
When Trey was lying
on this dick.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that was the auntie. Yeah.
That was her.
Yeah.
Tisha's grandmother. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, man. But we are beautiful people, man. Right. And it just feels good championing us.
Right. Speaking of champions, man, like, you know, going back to the Black athlete.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Of course, we talk about LeBron James with the school, but you think about history and people that stood for something, man. Of course, Muhammad Ali, right? But we have a modern day Muhammad Ali and Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah,
he's going to go down as one of those people.
No matter how you slice it, he will get those accolades.
And you know, of course, of the social media era and the way that President Trump got into it and all that, it just made it bigger than what. But they still don't get the point on why he was doing what he was doing. But that's okay, because we know.
Yeah.
You know, and even look, before him, I want to make sure that we acknowledge a Chicago Bull, Craig Hodges, that did that. You know, and my favorite player growing up. So everybody know my name is Chris Jackson, and I'm gonna give y'all the backstory. So I played for my elementary school team.
Okay.
And it was time to pick uniforms. Everybody was eyeing number 23, Derek Stinson. I'm kidding. Everybody wanted to be Mike Jordan.
Who, Fred Savage?
Yeah, but y'all can have 23 because I wanted number 13. Because it was a dude that played at LSU named Chris Jackson.
Yeah.
And he wore number 13.
Possibly the greatest shooter.
Great shooter. I mean, he was Steph Curry before Steph Curry.
And he's still killing in the big three.
Absolutely. He played with Shaq and Jamie Brandon, you know what I'm saying, those cats. So then he became Muslim, changed his name to Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
Yeah.
And, you know, when he changed his faith, he wasn't standing for the Star Spangled Banner.
He actually changed his beliefs in this way of thinking. That's what he said that led him today. I think he also said reading a book by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, about another one who stood for his beliefs and spoke out on injustices, especially.
Absolutely. And so, man, and like you said, he's still playing, you know, in leagues in the other countries or whatever, but they stood tall. And they, you know, I admire any man that can just sacrifice it. Because, you know, let's face it, man, to play basketball for a living and make blue gobs of money, it's hard to give up. You know what I'm saying? So something makes it'll make you fall in line because you're thinking about your family and your car, shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
You can't buy integrity or character.
Absolutely.
If you have those beliefs there and still you can't like buy like, oh. And I think that's one thing that we have to eradicate from our mouth. Like, yeah, we know money's important, but when you're doing everything else for it that you know is not right, you always lose.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. But speaking of people that stand up for something, man, we have to make sure that we recognize young people because that's something that we don't see. And again, going back to Chicago, this young brother, I believe he is the reason why Lori Lightfoot is mayor now because he shook things up.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped out. That's Jamal Green. Remember, Rahm Emanuel thought, okay, he felt like he had it in the bag. This young black dude said, I'm running for mayor. And people were supporting him.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa. So he ignited something in the city. And then we had it was about 18 people running for mayor. You know what I'm saying? Like
that was crazy.
So it was just chaos. That's when Rahm was like, you know what? I'm out. Y'all can have it. But he shook things up, man. And I think the young man is like 24 years old. And that's for him to do the things that he's doing and saying the things that he's saying and acting on it, man, just being an activist for his people and his community. I think that's a wonderful thing, man. And it's good to see young people get into the political process and, you know, making sure that they're leaving a legacy after them.
To piggyback off that, this age and not being afraid to go against the machine, that takes courage.
Because it definitely is a machine.
It's a big machine. And to stay off his age, it kind of puts me in the mind frame of Fred Hampton. He was 21 years old. Yeah. Fred Hampton Sr., I'm sorry. Peace to the Junior. His father, 21 years old. So to make an impact, I mean, it don't matter what age you are, just make the impact. But piggyback off that brother and coincide with that, they were young. You know, and he's still here, you know, but Fred Hampton Sr. vision is still here. His dream still goes on through people, you know.
Think about the civil rights movement, man. I mean, like Martin King was like in his 30s when he got killed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Malcolm was a young cat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if they didn't get assassinated, they'll just be old men right now, probably. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If God willing. So that's what you had a lot of, man.
What do you think the breakdown happened within, you know, our communities? Because, of course, we hear about the infiltration of these agencies and everything because they're afraid of the Black Messiah helping their people uprise. Like, what do you think the breakdown happened there, personally?
I mean, of course, you know, systems that were put in place, but man, I think when you got people like, you know, the Black Panther Party and the Civil Rights Movement, then you had guys come in and create these gangs, and you got Black people fighting against Black people. It'll make you say, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah.
I done got beat for this. I done got hosed for this. I done got bit by dogs for this. I done marched miles for this.
Yeah.
And y'all want to do this? To hell with it.
Yeah. We got it now.
To hell with it. And then now, you know what I'm saying? And think about it. During those days, a lot of people that was leading those marches had Reverend in front of their name. Mm-hmm. You ain't hearing that now. Yeah, it's too much money involved. You know what I'm saying? Things now these churches are, you know, I'm not sure the terminology about it, but man, they got it to a point where, I mean, they don't say things about government.
No,
You know what I'm
they
saying?
can't.
That'll mess up their funding.
Yeah.
So, you know, but here's my cash app. I got a bitch.
A fucking ATM in the church.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of these wounds that we have are self-inflicted.
Thank you.
And so we need to learn from these people, man. Like it's sometimes it ain't even a black and white thing; it's a green thing.
Yes,
and they know they know how to get us.
Dang with that mighty dollar.
Yeah.
Dang with that mighty dollar. But we have enough tools, blueprints laid for us to flourish and going forward. And you spoke about the younger generation. I am so proud of a lot of younger black men and women who are making strides for their communities. You know, there are so many, there are unspoken love. I could go through a whole list or whatnot, but when we talk about the past, present, and the future, they are the future. So everything that the past people have laid down for us, they're not all gone in vain. Some have listened. They're sparked, a thought, and people are making strides to get things going.
Yeah, and we shit on young people sometimes, but man, young people get it.
Smart as hell.
Young people get it. And they understand, like, man, this is about ownership. They understand that, you know what? No person that's sitting in some old house on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue really is going to dictate my life.
Mm-hmm.
I control this, you know what I'm saying? And if you're not talking about things like the environment, student debt, we ain't got time for you. So I really, young people it's about to be a movement.
And they're fearless.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, we're not civil rights. All due respect to them, you are not gonna do this to us without no repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing I see. Yeah. And when we
they'll get on them phones.
Thank you. So, I mean, technology is helping.
Yeah.
Showing the world. That's another thing I think when I watched the Malcolm X documentary, he was going to put the USA on blast to the UN, other nations, that they did not know what was going on. So that's another reason why the brother was assassinated.
And that's what I'm saying. If these politicians were real, they'll be dead.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And speaking of the black woman, and I've spoken highly of Barack Obama.
Okay.
And Barack Obama is the new Martin Luther King when it comes to, you got to do your Black History assignment. Who's your favorite Black hero? Everybody like Martin Luther King. Chris Rock even got a joke.
What's it?
He was like, the answer to everything was Martin Luther King.
Who made cornbread?
Martin Luther King. Exactly. So, but now I think Barack Obama's going to be that. But, there's a lot of things that, people criticize him about. And look, I feel like this, man. Being the first of anything is hard.
Yeah.
I think one of his biggest mistakes was when it was time for him to put somebody in the Supreme Court. He put Sotomayor there, and then he tried to get Merrick Garland. The Senate wouldn't confirm him. They wouldn't even put up a vote. But he would have put pressure on them if he would have nominated a black woman.
Mm.
And we're seeing the effects of that now because Trump is Trump. He's just a talking piece.
Yeah.
The courts is a motherfucker right now.
And how many people does he have in the courts?
Right now, I mean, the Supreme Court, like federal judges are being confirmed across the country at a rapid pace, faster than ever before. But on the Supreme Court right now, I want to say it's like 6-3 conservative to liberal. So, or maybe 5-4, I'm not sure. But if he gets a second term, Ginsburg old as dirt, you know what I mean? And if you got another person might retire, so you got a 7-2 Supreme Court conservative. Man, y'all better not get pregnant. Woo. And not want to have that baby.
Hell to tell the captain.
You know what I'm saying? It's like things like that is gonna. So, but a black woman could stop that because you would have put the pressure on the Republican Party. Oh, this what y'all doing? Y'all don't want a sister in there, and all the deltas and the signal gamma roll. All boy, please, come on, man.
Powerful too.
Come on, man. They know how to get it together, for real.
But speaking of a black woman, his wife, I'm loving what she's doing, educating. She's doing through health, especially for our younger kids in school and everything. I applaud her for that too, which is Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's history too, and she's loved all across. Absolutely. A strong black woman and the kids we have. So, man, I mean, it's rough being black, but it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
But speaking of health, though, man, a pioneer, about it that, even though he's not here anymore, his name still ring on as Dr. Savior.
They were scared of him. Very scared of him. He's been around since the late 70s
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And I got hip to him due to some older brothers educating me about certain ailments and how to alleviate them and get rid of them all through natural, remedies and everything. Kind of like a grandmother, but he went a step further. And when he went against the Supreme Court and won, man, they said that's when he got targeted.
Yeah,
most definitely, because he actually provided cures.
Yeah, and then you think about the people that have interacted with them, and they're gone. I mean, you talking about Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Nipsey.
Nipsey.
Yeah,
I mean, we can talk conspiracy, but it's like, come on, man.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to go back too far, but I didn't know a lot, but I had to research. I didn't know so many patents and so many inventions got halted because they hated him and they castrated him too. It was George Washington Carver.
Hmm.
They feared mine so strong. I did not know the man had damn near 1,500 patents, but they'll intercept it, and change it and steal the ideas.
Yeah, because I mean, he's the innovator that creates wealth. That you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like, and there's so many things that have been taken away from us. So many things.
So many. But we big on the youth, and I'm loving what they're doing. They're not breaking the rules. They're creating their own lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're using this technology. And yeah, some of them might not be doing what we call the best thing, but I'm loving how they're coming through. They're not needing these labels to sign them. They're creating their own revenue through YouTube. They're having labels come for them, but they're creating their own companies. And they're spearheading their campaigns. And they're making strides. And they're making things happen on their own accord. So shout out to all the young artists, whether you're doing music. Ray, she's young too. She started out of nowhere shooting film and everything. Just, I love seeing that stuff.
But my concern is, okay, yes, they're making all these creative things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going to be 50 years from now? That's what I have yet to see. Like, everybody's doing great right now. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to make sure that people recognize that this is about the year 3020.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And like, what with your finances and all those things, are you going to own? Are you going to build a legacy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I watched an interview earlier with Waka Flocka. Blew me away. He was just speaking about how he got hit to stocks and educate himself and how to go about moving forward. And it's not about music. It's about what you just said, creating that legacy and keeping things going forward. He was like, you know what? The thing about it with me is that I had to realize when I was younger trying to do the music thing, he said I didn't educate myself. So he was just trying to be a boss. He had to sit down and reevaluate and learn. And sometimes you have to shed dead weight to make things better, for the future. And he had to do that going forward, So definitely re-engineering your brand, your train of thought will definitely help. So hopefully the things that happen to like the entertainers in the past, these young entertainers will see that and won't make the same mistakes.
Yeah. But see, but one person that I admire, and he was actually on this podcast. We talk about financing it. Yeah, you get an entertainment, you make your money, what you want to do with it. But this person was telling us just what to do with our money. It's just ordinary Joes on how we can accumulate wealth without being in front of the camera. We're Roundtree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, here's a man, like God just didn't ordain you the credit guy. No. You learn all these tricks, like, here you go, my son, you have an 800. You know what I'm saying? It was like, he had to learn these things, but what he's doing, going around the country, I believe he was just in West Virginia today, talking to some school kids, and it's like, you don't have to do that.
Nah.
But he's doing it, and that's what it's about. Using what you have and creating a trail for other people to follow.
Yeah.
Because it's power in numbers.
All the time.
So it's like when you think about just old neighborhoods, and you read about Bronzeville and just different black neighborhoods, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, all those things.
Rosewood.
That where we controlled it, it was a powerful thing. So if we did power, just learn just about our pocketbooks and learning about needs versus wants, we will be great because we are. I think they said black people as a collective in this country, with what we spend, we're like as far as our spending power, we're like the 11th largest nation in the world
It's pretty
as far as
big.
the money. But we buy everything and own shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
therefore, we're professional consumers.
We know the price of everything, but don't know the value of nothing.
Yeah. So it's like, man, if so, yeah, we can get the bag and create and all that, but if we're not flipping it,
No.
you know what I'm saying? Not even just putting it, putting it to something that's gonna grow and putting that into us.
Yeah.
Like I look at, man, I think about this too, man. That the All-Star game was just here, right? And it was probably a few white boys, Luca, that ain't even from the States. Luca Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks or whatever. But man, it's like all these people when they come to see these young black boys.
Yeah.
What if they all say, you know what, Adam Silver, we're retiring today. And they put their money together and start a league, bro. I mean, they did it in baseball, the Negro Leagues.
And they snatched it away. They snatched it away so swiftly by allowing one or two of us to come on over and made us believe all integration. That's the best thing.
Yeah, that's us. That white ice is cold. So yeah, Jackie Robinson is a pioneer. He went through some shit.
Oh, hell no, I was.
But it's like, damn, what if we would have just been a little patient?
And that's what I was saying. It was so powerful. Earlier, we watching the interview with the brother Flocka. He was just saying we have to stop going for the peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
He was alluding to the fact that we got all these billionaires and multimillionaires in this industry. Why they won't fund this and have the brothers with the talent stop getting raped by the 360 deals? Come on over here. And he said that made sense. I said it makes sense to me too. Like pool our resources together, have our own thing.
Yeah.
So if the athletes did do that, the ones who said I don't care, I'm not scared, man, that would be the most beautifulest thing in the world. Do you think it ever happen though?
Nope.
Why is that?
Corporate America is a persuasive pimp
with a 4-finger ring.
Yeah. So I wish it could, but one person that said, you know what, I can do it. And this man, I love this cat, man. Like if you ask me like who was one of my heroes, who would I idolize?
Mm-hmm.
Ice Cube.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was a big fan of, all right, man, Ice Cube. I wanted a curl because of Cube. Like I
mom said no.
Yeah, man. My sister said curls. I don't know why I couldn't get a curl. But anyway, like when think about it, he left Ruthless Record. Like you left the baddest group in the world at the time.
Yeah.
He said, "Nah, this ain't right. This ain't right." And then you started your own thing, and then you started movies, and then said, "You know what? I write songs that's like movies. Man, let me write a movie," and wrote a cult classic.
Man.
But then said, "Man, these production companies let me start my own thing, Cube Vision."
Yes.
And he's about ownership. But you know what I really admire the most about O'Shea Jackson?
What?
He's with the same woman that he was with probably 30 some years ago.
With the curve.
And now his son is doing what he,
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I like. That's what I really admire the most. You don't hear none of, oh man, Cube was fucking, like none of that.
And
go to work and go home.
Pardon, my bad. And that's what I think Dame Dash, another sharp, smart brother, was saying.
Yeah.
Be able to pass it down.
Dame is definitely one of them people, man.
Definitely.
Like, you may not like his delivery. But it's so funny how, like, people, when he was getting on them like 10, 15 years ago, now they like, damn, Dame was right.
Yeah.
Dame was right.
And it's going to be that person or these people in our communities who you might not necessarily agree with, but in the back of your mind, you're looking like this motherfucker right.
Yeah.
We have to stop being so prideful and say, you know what, let me listen.
Yeah.
Use these 2 ears, close our mouths, and just listen sometimes. It might be abrasive, but I'd rather have the honest truth opposed to a beautiful lie any day. I mean, probably I worded it wrong, but you all get the gist of it. But this whole episode was about just us in general. It's about championing us.
Yeah.
Because like we want to always put us in the forefront and speak about the positive and the negative. I talk about everything. You know what I mean? But this episode definitely about championing us as a people.
Who's one of those people that you idolize? Just for the things that they've done, their accomplishments, things of that nature.
I'm a big music head, and I don't want to keep getting on the arts and everything, but I love music. I would possibly say somebody like Luther Campbell, aka Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
For a person to go in front of the Supreme Court and challenge them and win because I have the right to say what I want to say.
Right.
You all tell me it's dangerous, despicable, this and this nasty and this, but to stand on top of it and actually win, man, that meant a whole lot. And I remember as a shorty watching that, there was like my Cinemax watching the videos. But besides the point, you know what I mean? Saying that, but I just love how he pushed forward through all that adversity and he put his own money up behind. He said, I'm going to fight for what I believe in.
Right.
And he ushered in a whole new way of thinking and business owners. You know what I mean? That's just
he was like one of the first independents.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, as far as this rap thing goes. He's the reason why you got the parental advisory, explicit lyrics, explicit content label on front of albums or whatever.
And another thing that stood out about him was him giving back to his community.
Yeah, that football league going on.
And he had so many brothers who made it to the NFL, and they all give him his just due.
Yeah.
So he's just one of the people I could think of. Like I said, I love music, but like his story is touching. You know what I mean? His hood
is prominent on the first 48. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it is.
So it's like to come from that, and then but man, thank you, Luke, for number 142 on the box. I want to rock. I still remember that. I charged $18 on my mama's phone bill.
That's killed it.
Man, what?
Illinois bill back then.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad you asked that question. I could go on and on and on. He's the first person I could think of, especially about me loving music so much.
Yeah.
Who would you say?
I definitely Ice Cube, but you know what, man? This brother, I think this man, regardless of the conspiracies or whatever you may hear about, this brother has done more for black men than anybody on the face of this earth, and this is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah, I know you was gonna say.
The man got 1 million black brothers together twice with no incident and all love. He get a bad rap for his rhetoric, but it ain't hate speech; it's love speech. Now, I ain't no Muslim. I just had a pork chop a couple days, but at the same time, though, it's like when he speak, I listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like he's talking to me.
Yeah.
And he comes from a loving place. That's one. You know what else, man?
Who?
That ain't afraid about what people say. Nick Cannon. I think that's gonna be somebody we gonna, we when we talk about the word syndication, like that's like we talk about ownership. He's gonna be that cat.
Yeah.
He's gonna be that cat, man.
And I don't care how people chop it and dice it. All he's man, fuck that. He speaks from the heart.
Yeah. And he corny all the way to the bank.
My mama. And I did appreciate he went to the county, yeah. He visited the Cook County. He went to I think Division 11 or something to go in there and talk to the brothers. And a lot of people they'll say they'll do this, but they're not gonna walk the walk.
Yeah.
And talk. So he actually came here on 26th California. Y'all know we're in Chicago. He went to the county. He went inside to speak.
Yeah.
That's
huge, man. To go touch the people and let them know that, man, it's possible. It's real shit on the other side of them walls, and you know what I mean. It's attainable.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's definitely real. But Louis Farrakhan, yeah, most definitely. But you know what? I won't say we so caught up with who's going to be the next. It's up to us to, keep bouncing positive energy.
And that's and we talk about the next. Like, the thing is, I don't think people know they're going to be any. Some people just have a dream, and some people just do shit by circumstance. Like Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks just was tired.
Feet was hurting.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then a movement came about with that. So it's like, some people just don't know. You just got to say, you know what, enough is enough. And this is what I'm going to do, and stand on it and believe in it. And that's how you get Black history, man, when you believe in some shit. It's not about how much money you're going to make or how many women you done bone or how many cars you drive, man. What kind of impact are you making on this world? And you don't have to be famous to be mentioned in Black history. Long as the people that know you and love you, know, you know what I'm saying, understand what you about, that's how you live forever, man.
And to go off that, I think for every guest we have had, they have made Black history, or they're making Black history.
Absolutely.
That's what we all about here.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Prince T-Dog. He's doing this thing with Monique. He was on tour with her. Shout out to Brian D. Johnson, financial guy. He's on top of this thing. Shout out to Miss Dominique McCord, the mental health.
Yeah,
and that was definitely
Yanni Brown, man. I mean, to try to keep us together, because we ain't got shit without family, and that's the institution.
Exactly.
And so if we can get that love back, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Kisha Roberts Tab, because the fact that she's the only one that works for the county to do the one
in the third largest city in the nation,
but this is the number one spot. This is the hub.
Exactly.
And you're the only one. And then she do a lot of things after hours. The marches at night. Like let's go. Let's do some recovery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta, the people that make history are the ones that just said, like I said, just say enough is enough and take action.
Yeah.
And you know, she's someone that I mean, she's a peer, but I admire her so much because it takes courage.
Well, you just don't know. I mean, you just don't know.
Who else? Yolanda Peavy, man. Life insurance, because we can't talk about legacy. It's not about money. You know what I'm saying? It's about, man, maintaining.
Yes.
Maintaining what we got going on. So in our community, we ain't got no more vacant lots, and they ain't taking the house and all that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't taking granddaddy's store or nothing like that. Put this in there, we take this. Because in our communities, we got so many food deserts and things like that. So let's build.
Yeah.
That's what that's about, man. When you think about the wealth in this country, like, man, we probably got doctors and, you know, dentists and all this type. These white boys think they just smart and they went to medical school and they did great. Man, they went to medical school because they daddy probably told them this is what they gonna do.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? They was probably assholes. Like, you think about the Supreme Court and Brett Kavanaugh. He was a drunk.
Oh, really?
And now he's on the Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like that's how great it is. How great white privilege is.
Trust me, baby.
But black privilege is even better.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to realize that we got it.
Yeah.
We got
to realize each other down too.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's not helping us get over the hood.
Yeah, but fuck all that. I mean, you're gonna have that in every race.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be those guys, but
I'm more concerned about
the key is, I mean, people gonna say what they're gonna say. The key is to keep going.
Yeah.
Put your blinders on, keep going, man, and make history.
Straightforward.
Make history. So,
to conclude this month, it's been a beautiful one, man.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing my little boy on stage tomorrow saying this poem. But I want to make sure that I have these conversations with him too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where it starts. I mean, the school can only do so much because they're so binded by a curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to the teachers that be like, okay, I'm gonna do what they said because that's in my lesson plan. But let me get y'all here for 20 minutes and tell y'all about C.J. Walker. You know what I'm saying? Because all y'all girls that want bundles and all, you wouldn't have that without this.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Millionaire.
Yeah.
You know what
millionaire
I mean?
For real.
That in the 20s. You know what I'm saying? So she probably, you know what I mean? So that means a lot.
A whole lot.
You got, man, a great writer. I love him, man. I'm actually reading this book now that he wrote about Jay-Z, Michael Eric Dyson.
I fuck with Dyson. I like Dyson.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's some great people out there that, man, just, they deserve some acknowledgement. And I hope that, you know, they inspire the next one. That's all you need. It's like, by working in education, it's like, damn, you wish you can get the whole collective, the whole class. Key is to get one.
All you need.
If you get one, you did your job.
Yeah.
And if get 2, you doing extra.
Yeah, Tupac said that too, though.
So it's like, man, you just need to spark that brain, and you good.
Yeah, and you did your job.
Yep. So with that being said, man, happy Black History Month, and we're gonna continue doing this thing on and on and on and on to the year 5,000, man. We are a resilient people. We are an intelligent people. We are just a dope people, trailblazers. Let's keep that going, man. And we're not gonna worry about institutions teaching our kids. We're gonna do that ourselves. All right.
Under the Crown Podcast, y'all.